let's understand why we vote on 7 December. Please, can you put the articles there? I'll come to this one later. Let's understand why we vote on 7 December. Why the date 7 December is the date that we vote. Can we have a look at it? Okay, great. This is it. It's Article 1124. It says, subject to Clause 2 of Article 113 of this Constitution, a general election of members of Parliament shall be held within 30 days before the expiration of the period specified in Clause 1 of that article, and a session of Parliament shall be appointed to commence within 14 days after the expiration of that period. Okay, this is an important one. Subject to Clause 2 of this article, Parliament shall continue for 4 years from the date of its first sitting and shall then stand dissolved. Okay, so Parliament continues for 4 years. So the Parliament has to be elected within 30 days. An election of a new Parliament has to be within 30 days of the dissolution of the Parliament, the existing Parliament. That's what the law says. Let's look at it. Where is it? Subject to Clause 2 of Article 113, a general election of members of Parliament shall be held within 30 days. That means it shouldn't be 31. It shouldn't be 32, but it can be 29. It can be 28. It can be 15. It can be 16. It says, a general election of members of Parliament shall be held within 30 days before the expiration of the period specified in Clause 1 of this article, and a session of Parliament. So the expiration of Parliament is January 6th, January 7th, however you look at it, midnight plus 1, however you look at it. Now, in the circumstances, this law is requiring parliamentary elections to occur on the 7th of December, 30 days before 7th of January. Again, this regulation is for Parliament. Nowhere does it say that the presidential election should occur before the president is sworn in 30 days before. This 30 days is not. So the presidential election, we can decide that we don't want it on the 7th of December. We want it on December 20th. There is absolutely no regulation. In fact, we can have the presidential election on January 1. This is a call to Parliament and to all our scholars and civil society to start making our constitution better by thinking through these things and providing for us meat for the purpose of governing our presidential election. Ekwadonko has woken up and woken us up to something very critical. That is how big people work, even in death. Ekwadonko has woken us up to something very, very important. There are no regulations about our presidential election. So the Electoral Commission tonight is confused. Jean Mensah is confused. Bosman Asare is confused. They are talking to their lawyers. They are talking to their family. They are talking to their friends. They don't know what to do because the 1992 Constitution has no clear regulations for the conduct of a presidential election. And I'm surprised, well, I'm not surprised, but I'm worried that media are leading Ghanaians to Article 54. Media, please wake up and tell Ghanaians that Article 54 is not about presidential election. It is fully on parliamentary election. It talks about that constituency, the death in that constituency or unit. It is not the presidential election. Ekwadonko has now woken the whole country up into a major constitutional lacuna. Tonight, the Electoral Commission is going to make its decision and decide that, well, we think that in the circumstance, we should ballot everything again. That will be the decision of the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission can decide that, well, Ekwadonko has been replaced. Who puts her there? That seems easy. The Electoral Commission can decide that Ekwadonko's party is no longer interested. We will delete them and then change every other person who is below them. That's going to end up at the Supreme Court. Because the NDC is going to say that when we came to ballots, we picked number 8. We didn't pick number 7. There's no regulation that says that if somebody dies, you have to push me there. I am going to the Supreme Court for an interpretation of the matter. So it looks like it's just beginning. Early morning, it is just beginning. We are in the early morning of this conversation. It is really just beginning. It hasn't gone anywhere, and we will have to see what happens. So this is Ekwadonko's running mate. His name is Roman Fada. So if the party, which is the Ghana Freedom Party, the GFP, if they decide that Roman Fada should run for the ticket, then Roman Fada will now need to take a running mate. Oliver Vomaho was refused Alan Chamartin's running mate. Perhaps he will accept Roman Fada's running mate. I don't know. But if Roman Fada decides to run, then they have to print new ballots. If, however, the Ghana Freedom Party decide that they do not want to run anymore, That's an issue. The Ghana Freedom Party can also decide that whilst they are not running anymore, they want to endorse the National Democratic Congress. What happens to that? That also can happen. That may not have any effect on the notice of poll. If you endorse a party, you can endorse a party. It may not have any effect on the notice of poll. But all of these things are open. And I'm unhappy that this evening all media have pointed to Article 54 and looks like the matter is there. No, the matter is only starting. There's going to be major legal arguments over this matter. Is the Electoral Commission going to leave a crowd or call in there? Yeah. Will they do that? They may. According to the CI Regulation 10 that we read, in parliamentary elections, you can leave the person there because you've printed the ballot papers already. So all of these things are interesting things that are coming up. Let's